All right, friends, Brian here from Guitars and Cigars. So, did I just buy another quality, fiscally minded instrument, or did I just get another Bodor? We're going to run the SBS from Guitar Fetish, the SS265 through the ringer, and see if we've got a winner or we've got a loser. Stay tuned to find out. Good afternoon, friends. Brian here from Guitars and Cigars and the Katana Tone Lab. Happy Friday. Weekend is here. So today we have an unboxing of a new guitar that I got delivered yesterday. It is the SS265, which is part of the SBS series from Guitar Fetish. As you can see, the shipping gods were kind. Box is not all beat up. To be honest, it looks like it's in actually really good shape, surprisingly. And the bonus part is the UPS man actually found out that I have a large covered porch. And that is exactly where I found the box. So kudos to the new UPS man. So we're going to open it up. And as you can see, we get our typical padding. Got some paperwork, which I believe was the invoice. It's packed pretty well, so the guitar certainly was not bouncing around within the cardboard box. I'll give that to my daughter later, and she'll have fun popping away. So, yeah, indeed, that is my quick invoice. Everything looked good there. Now we have the guitar coming out. So that's how it comes. If you get guitars delivered to you, it's typically within two boxes, an outer for quote unquote protection, and then the actual manufacturer's instrument box. I've gotten them where they're square, I've gotten them where they're kind of triangular like this. Just depends on who's doing the shipping. My Alex Lifeson Les Paul came in two rectangular boxes, as it also came with a nice leather hardshell case. So there's the guitar. Boy, is that green, that's for sure. I wanted to get a guitar that stood out. I've never really owned very many bright colored guitars, so I thought, why not? So as you can see, it comes with extra padding inside. They got some styrofoam in there. They've got various pieces of the bubble plastic to keep it from bouncing around. And they've got some stuff around the headstock to protect that. And it comes in a, I don't even know what you would call it. It's kind of like a styrofoam thin bag, which is how the last 3 or 4 guitars I have purchased have come. More or less the same way, in that type of box, in a second box. And this was the best looking outer box out of all the deliveries. So I wanted to make sure I grabbed my neck brace. Don't want to put any undue stress on the neck. Everything looks good. The bag is still intact. Like I said, they put a lot of extra foam on the headstock, which was nice. So it comes with truss rod key and some Allen wrenches. Now the truss rod key on this is straight. You'll see in the picture here, the truss rod adjustment is at the bottom of the neck, at the neck and body joint. That's for expediency, and I found a lot of these style guitars have that as an option. Everything looks good, neck feels good. As you can see, it's got dual humbuckers. This guitar was purchased specifically because it has a hardtail bridge. I did not want anything with a tremolo. It's got a flamed roasted maple neck. The green body color is very brilliant, as you can see. It has string through. It's got a nice neck joint cover. Little SBS, Steve Brown sound, who played with Trickster way back in the day. And you get your typical cavity for your electronics. They covered the switch with a piece of cardboard, which I think is nice so it doesn't get bounced around. And you've got a volume and a tone only. The potentiometers felt nice, a little bit looser than my last guitar I purchased, my ChillCat. They were a little bit tighter. I don't know if the tolerances are different. It does not have a locking nut, as you can see, as I do not have a tremolo on it. That is not a bone nut, that is a plastic nut. There's another difference between this guitar and the ChillCat guitar. So that's the opening. Nice looking guitar overall, reverse headstock. Now we're going to pick at it and run it through its paces. And it's an exciting day here. We got ourselves a new guitar in. I got this through a company called Guitar Fetish. And it is the SBS. Let me get the exact model number for you here. The SS265 neon green hardtail jumbo stainless steel frets, alder body, flame neck with Alnico 2 humbuckers. And I'll tell you, it's definitely green. So we just did the unboxing. And overall, it looks pretty phenomenal. I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever with the finish. And as I said, it is green. I haven't owned very many bright guitars like this. I had a metal flake purple, and then I had this really weird mustardy, almost like a neon mustard guild back in the day. And that one was pretty wild. Then I had another one that was kind of not quite neon blue. It was a little bit mellower than neon blue. That was a guild as well, but that was a Brian May special. They did a red special series in different colors. And I had that years ago. So I felt I needed to, I wanted to get a new Strat style guitar. B, I wanted to find a company that came highly recommended and was in the idea of being fiscally sound. I hate to call guitars budget guitars because if you've been around as long as I have, budget guitars usually meant garbage. And that is not the case with some of these new fiscally minded guitar companies. And this came recommended from a couple of players that I watch online. Guitar Max, he talks about it. And then, sorry, my phone went off. And then Glenn over at Spectre Sound Studios did a review of this company's guitars a couple of years ago, I think now. And I've seen a few other people who have talked about guitar fetishes, and specifically the SBS, which I believe stands for Steve Brown Sound. And I can't remember which band he was in back in the 80s, but it was a rather popular 80s hair metal style guitar band. And as such, I figured I'd pull the trigger. I've been looking at these guitars for a while. The original one I was looking at was a single and a dual with a Floyd Rose style bridge. I have a handful of Strats. I don't use the whammy bar on any of them. I'm not a huge whammy bar person in general. I have an Alex Lifeson Les Paul Custom over there, Epiphone Access Les Paul Custom, that has a Floyd on it, a real Floyd. So I figured I've got that covered with that guitar. So I've always wanted to own a hardtail Strat style guitar, so this seemed to be the way to go. And like I said, this was recommended as a, again, I'll use the word fiscally sound guitar brand that offers really good quality and an instrument that plays way above its price point. I think with all the sales and deals and everything they had going on with this guitar, I think I paid about $280 for it, $290. The other guitar that I've recently purchased, and I've done lots of talking about, is my ChillCat Vintage Les Paul. This thing is killer. This plays way, way above its price point. Let me tell you that. This keeps up with my Epiphone Les Paul Custom all day. Does it have all the bells and whistles that one has? No. It doesn't do coil splitting. You can't go in and out of phase. And obviously, this does not have a Floyd on it, as you can see. But again, I'm not a huge whammy bar guy, so that really wasn't an issue for me. Like this guitar, I had done a lot of research on ChillCat, and after extensive reading and watching reviews, I pulled the trigger on that, and I cannot tell you how happy I am. I will never, ever invest huge money into a guitar again. You don't need to. You've got brands like ChillCat, and we're going to see how this Guitar Fetish, the SBS, stands up. But you've got companies out there that are making absolutely fantastic quality instruments for a fraction of the price of something like my Epiphone or a Gibson or a custom shop Fender. I mean, that's, you can buy a decent used car for what they're asking for some of those guitars. So this guitar here, like I said, it's got dual humbuckers. It's got a single volume, single tone. Potentiometers are pretty loose. First thing I see for a difference between this guitar and that guitar, the ChillCat, is the potentiometers on that. They're not loose, they're not tight, they were just right. These feel a little bit loose, but I'm not sure if that's intentional. That way you can roll off while you're doing your lightning fast, I play like Paul Gilbert runs. I've never played like Paul Gilbert. I've never been fast. Not something I'm really that much into. I remember when Yngwie came out and everybody was like, oh, I was like, give me David Gilmour all day and I'm happy with that, and Jimmy Page. So that's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now. Switch is decent. It's a three-way. I'll see what's going on with the pickups. Truss rod adjustment is at the bottom of the neck, so it makes it for quick access, which is nice. You don't have to take off the cover up here and do what you need to do. Hopefully, I don't have to make any truss rod adjustments with this guitar. I should be able to take it out of the box, tune it up, play it. The end. Action could be a tiny bit lower, to be honest. I don't think it's super high, but it could be a tiny bit lower. And setting up this bridge is nowhere near the nightmare of setting up a Floyd Rose bridge, that's for sure. So in theory, all I'm going to need to do is just drop these down a little bit, just a tinge, and just do a little bit of fine tuning on my intonation. We'll see. We've got, I think it's a plastic nut. I do not think this is a bone nut, which is what the ChillCat came with. Another big upgrade, in my opinion. Small details that company in particular is really, really paying attention to. Stainless steel frets. Neck feels really good. Not going to tear my fingers open. It's a 20-inch radius neck, I believe. Let me see here. Fingerboard radius is 20 inch. Let me read you the exact specs. Solid body, 3-piece alder. Roasted solid flamed maple with rounded edges. I am a huge fan of maple necks. I owned one Les Paul through the years that had a maple neck on it, and it was completely open. I had a Zach Wild Epiphone years ago, the Bullseye. I'm an idiot. I got rid of it. I should never have gotten rid of that guitar. But I have a handful of Strats and Telecasters that have maple necks, and I really love them. The bridge, stainless steel base plate, stainless steel saddles with a string through. So the strings string up through the actual body, which I have found adds a little bit of resonance to the guitar overall. I have a couple of Telecasters that's how it sets up, goes through, and I really, really like that. 22 jumbo stainless steel frets with ball ends. Bridge pickups. The SBS 300 Arena Rock Plus, a 14.5 Alnico 2 humbucker, quick plug compatible. Oh, that's a pretty sweet bonus. And then the neck pickup is the SBS 301 Arena Rock Plus, which is a 12.4K Alnico with a quick plug compatible as well. So, can't complain with that. I didn't buy this guitar with the intention that I was going to mod the shit out of it. But down the road, if I decide to, that makes things a lot easier. All you need to do is pop them out, unplug it, plug the new one in, and you're off and running. So maybe someday I'll put some active pickups, maybe some Fishmans, or I'll put in some Bite the Bullet and buy some EMGs. We'll see. I doubt it. I think I'm just going to literally set this up and beat the shit out of it. The electronics, coil tap. Whoa! Look at that. There's an added bonus I didn't even realize it had. So and it has a treble bleed circuit. Nice bonuses on this guitar. You know, you go out and buy some of these other companies and forget it. You don't get any of that stuff. You get stuff that sounds like you're playing through an old Budweiser can. Fantastic. The tuners are sealed die-cast 14-1s. Scale length is 25.5. The width of the nut is 1 21/32. Depth of the first fret is 0.75. At the 12th is 0.874, and the heel at the depth at the heel is 1.5. Shipping weight in the box was 30 pounds. So I'm thinking that this thing probably weighs 6 or 7 pounds realistically. Certainly not heavy. I've had a couple of Les Pauls that were like boat anchors. I had a Strat years ago. I had gotten a Hendrix model. It was a Schecter with the reverse headstock. It was all white, the aged white, and it had a Kahler on it, I believe. Awesome, another guitar. Why did I get rid of it? I have so many guitars. If I look back and added them all up, I would jump off the roof of the Empire State Building. Amps too. Oh my God. Anyways, so let's see what else it's saying here. Alder body, flame neck. USA designed SBS Alnico 2 overwound pickups, coil taps, treble bleed circuit. That's, like I said, that's a really cool added bonus. I've put them into a couple of guitars, and it's actually made a big difference through the years. Truly a miracle at $1,000, but these introductory priced guitars under $400. And they were running a special on top of that I got some more do-re-mi off. So I think I was all in, shipped in the whole 9 yards. It was under $300. So there's a lot of other companies out there that you're going to spend more and get way less. So far, so good. More of their marketing propaganda and blah, 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 blah. Biggest thing with this guitar, why I bought it was it's a Strat competition. It's a 22, the 20. It's not a Super Strat with 24. It doesn't have any type of whammy bar on it. I got the solid tail. 2 added bonuses I had no clue about. Coil splitting. And it's got a treble bleed, which if you've never worked with a treble bleed, really helps keep down your feedback issues and some other stuff. I'll do a write-up on a treble bleed circuit in a future post. I have probably 4 or 5 guitars through the years that I've put one on. You have to go in and solder it and make sure you don't burn your fingers off and overheat the wires and all. Yeah, it's already here. Fantastic. Again, big upgrade on these newer guitars is stainless steel frets. My ChillCat stainless steel frets, but so far, I mean, it needs to be tuned. Feels great. Sometimes you get guitars in and the frets feel kind of gritty when you're doing a bend. Not getting that at all. So out of the box, it's a pretty goddamn good guitar. That's all I'm going to say. It's got a reverse headstock. Let's check see what the tuners are like. Tiny bit of fret buzz up at the low. Nothing at 12. A little bit at 7. Tiny bit at 5. Getting a little bit at 3. Same amount at 1. So there's a tiny bit of fret buzz. But that could be truss rod. That could be my adjustment on my action. That could be that the shipping gods decided to bounce this around like it was a football. There are a lot of variables that are playing into it. The other thing I really like is I really like the neck cover. It's got your contour so you can get way down into the 22nd fret without any problem. And that's a pretty snazzy looking cover in my opinion. So, and then what we're going to do too is probably over the weekend, I'm going to open up this cavity and take a peek and exactly look at what the electronics look like inside, as well as we'll get this tuned up and we will be doing a first impression play video. But overall, the SBS guitar, I mean, it's pretty thumbs high. This is the SS265 in neon green from Guitar Fetish. So, all right, my friends, Brian here from Guitars and Cigars. So this is going to be part of our Katana Tone Lab series. Proof over price. I firmly believe that you do not have to spend a mint on equipment that will give you seriously quality sound and playability. My ChillCat has proven that. My Boss Katana 212 has proven that. Between the two, I'm at like $800. So you're going to add this in. I'm under $1,200 definitely. And I got, from what I can see, 2 killer guitars and an awesome amp that does everything. So I firmly believe that you do not have to spend big money to get big sound and big playability. So, all right, Brian here from Guitars and Cigars. We are on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on X. We're trying to get on TikTok, but they're kind of weird to deal with. That'll come in a later date. So we will be doing the rest of the review on this, and this video will come out at some point this weekend. So, all right, my friends, smoke long, play loud, live well. So I'm playing around with my new Git fiddle here, trying to see what I can get for different sounds out of it. Obviously, this guitar plays completely different than my Les Paul does. But this thing gets some pretty cool sounds. And as you can see, I came up with a variation of the JCM 80s vibe. So with the right settings, obviously, you can get some really seriously fat sounds out of this guitar. And the more I'm playing it, the more I'm liking it, which is the way I guess it normally works. Unless you find the guitar, you take it out of the box, or you walk into the store, sit down and play it, and it's like, oh, the Lord has handed it to you and said, go off and make the greatest music ever made in the history of the world. Not that I'm at players, but unless you find that guitar, I think people have to play it, get used to it, kind of learn to love it. I've been playing a lot of Les Pauls versus this style as of late. So, like I said, got to experiment a little, so to speak. So I am seriously not dissatisfied with this guitar. This is the SBS SS265, I believe. It is off of Guitar Fetish. And the SBS stands for Steve Brown Sound, who I finally figured out was in Trickster back in the day. So my memory's not what it used to be. The rest of me isn't either.